Good morning and happy Monday to you. I am Ida Johnson with Purposeful Living, and I'm honored to bring the Monday morning devotionals this morning. I pray that you've had a great weekend. We had a wonderful weekend, pretty busy. We had a nice little barbecue for our grandson in the backyard. He graduated from high school and is on his way to college, and we just wanted to have friends and family over to honor him. We were social distancing, of course, but it was just so good to be able to get together and honor my grandson Isaiah as he heads off to college. He's worked so hard, and we're so super duper proud of him. And I pray that your weekend was exciting as well. And I pray that you are ready for an awesome week ahead. And we pray God's richest blessings on you as you head into your week. But as we were preparing for the barbecue in our backyard, we had to go out and, do some gardening and cut some things back and get some weeds out the way. And when we got all that piled up into our fire pit, we burned everything that we no longer needed, that we had cut back, just so that what we have in our garden can continue to grow and flourish. And this morning I went and cut this beautiful rose from my rose bush. It's beautiful. I love flowers. And, we've had to go back and cut some of the vines that weren't producing these beautiful flowers anymore. For some reason, maybe weeds or something got to it, and that part of the rose bush just died. So we've had to cut it back, and just so that we can continue to get beautiful roses and produce from it. And sometimes God has to do the same thing with us. I'm reminded of the passage in John, the 15th chapter, verses 1 and 2, where he says, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away, and every branch that bears fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit." Now, Jesus is saying that in order for us to be effective living for him, we have to abide in him and remain in him. And so that we can bear much fruit, that we can bear good fruit. And sometimes he has to go in, just like we have to go in and cut back our vines from our rose bushes. Sometimes the Father has to go in and prune us, and sometimes that pruning really hurts. It doesn't feel good when we have to relinquish things, and that he has to go in and work on us, but it's definitely necessary for us to grow and produce more fruit. And sometimes the things that God has to cut out of us are things like gossip or jealousy, comparison, strife. Sometimes it may be alcoholism, drug abuse, or other things, fornication, things that are not really pleasing to the Father. He has to go in and cut it out. And again, sometimes it does not feel good, but it is so good for us, for the furtherance of the things that he has planned for our life. And as we go into verse 4 of John 15, he says, "Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me." So we cannot do really anything effective outside of abiding in the Father. And to abide means to stay around. To remain or to stay around. So we need to remain in his word and stay around what he is producing in us. Just, sometimes just take some time to sit in his presence and maybe read his word and sing songs to him, and let the nourishment that the Father, only the Father can give, come into us and nourish our branches, if you will, nourish the roots of our soul, that we might produce good fruit and that we may be effective in what He has called us to be and to do. So, a couple of things I'd just like to ask you as you go through this week. Are there some areas in your life that you can feel that God is trying to cut away, that He's trying to extract, that He's trying to prune away from you, that will make you better? Things that have been stifling your growth, maybe things that have been holding you back, whether it's fear of what people will say, or if you branched out to do what He's called you to do, or maybe it's fear of just living as His light in the world, wondering what people will say or think about you if you were brave enough to step out. Maybe it's maybe He wants you to stop gossiping, or comparing yourself to others. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, just the way you are. You are unique. Every flower in my garden is so unique. There is not one that is just like the other, and you are unique. So just stand up and be who you are. Enjoy being who you are. Bloom right where you are planted, and bloom big and beautiful, just like He created you to do. So as we go through the week, just think about some things that He may want to cut away from you, to prune from you. And then secondly, are you willing to surrender those things to you, so that you surrender those things to Him so that you can bear more fruit? Are you willing to surrender the things that He's asking for, that you may bear much fruit? We will be praying for you through this week, and together let's think of the things that maybe God is trying to cut from us, that are no longer effective or that's stifling our growth, and ask ourselves, are we willing to surrender those things to Him? And let's go forth and have a wonderful week. We love you so much, and we're thankful for the conference that we just came from over the weekend, the Redefining Superwoman Conference. It was amazing, and hopefully we all got so much from it. God really blessed, and we're thankful for Purposeful Living and all of the hard workers that labor there and that are bearing much fruit. We thank you and we love you. Have a wonderful week.